weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, I saw an article in the Grimsby Telegraph. The headline was, "I was found walking down motorways. The boy who tried to get back to his mum after being taken into care." That boy was Terry Birkett, who joins me on the show today. Terry, nice to talk to you. Tell us your story, how you ended up in care and separated from your mother.
What it was, I lost my dad at 9 with cancer, and my mum went through a big breakdown, and social services got involved, and they just come in and said they'd help support her, but really they just, they took us away from my mum.
Right. When you say us, was it what, a brother and sister as well? How many children were there?
Well, my mum's got 6 children, but it was just me and my brother and my sister that went away, because the others was older, you say, than us.
Right. And did you all go to away together? You were in Grimsby. Where did you go?
Yeah.
Tell us the story, Terry.
Well, my sister, she remained in Grimsby, and my brother remained in Grimsby. They put me in Cleethorpes first, but I just kept running away, really, trying to get back to my mum's and that. So in the end, they located me to Doncaster in the end, where I kind of settled for a while there. But every time I kept coming home for contact, every 2 weeks I kept coming back to see my mum. I just kept, running, trying to get home all the time. I just wanted, to be with a loved one, really. After losing my dad, I'd got so much of a bond with my mum, really. I just didn't want to, be away from her.
Mm-hmm. And what was your mum saying? Was she admitting she was struggling to look after you, or what was going on, Terry?
Yeah, she did. She admitted she needed a little bit of help and support, because, she went through a massive breakdown losing my dad. And they offered little bits of support, like taking us to school, things like that, but they weren't really helping her enough, I didn't think, personally, and I just thought it was anything just to take us in care. That's my opinion.
Okay. Well, you lived it. How did it impact on your life?
I've struggled with severe mental health since, losing my dad, and it's just been a massive impact, really, on my life. Like, I love my mum, and we've got a massive bond we always have in that. It's brought us all stronger as a family, really, being separated, where, maybe some would be a bit distant and that, really, but we're a strong family, a strong unit, but it has massively, it has massive effects on your life, definitely, because it never leaves you, really, in experience like that, and you just can't really make up for your childhood, really, if that makes sense.
No, I've got you. Did you go into a care home then, or care home and foster parents? What went on, Terry?
Yeah, I ended up in foster care, really, with foster parents, and they was good to me. I can't fault them. They was really good, and they was all behind me with my school and things like that. But it was just, I think I just miss being home, really. That love from your family, really. It was harsh on my mum too. After losing, obviously, her husband, to take her children away too. I just think that was like a massive blow for her, really.
And did you get to go back to your mother?
I did, yeah. I returned to my mum. My mum got counselling, and she built herself back up, really strong again, and we ended up going to court, really, in the end. She did, for me, and got a good solicitor behind her, and in the end I returned home, because the way the judge said it was, if I remember, he said, this boy needs to return back to his mother, because if he don't, when we're walking on motorways and things like that, this boy could end up in a bad situation. Maybe he could die, because I was found a lot of the times just on motorways, in fields and that, trying to, just get home, and that, police picking me up late at night, and, I was never a bad kid or anything like that. That was my only wish, really, just to be with my mum, really, and my family. That's all I ever wanted, really.
So you were separated from your mum at 11. At what age did you get back to her to live with her?
I got back to her about, I think it was 13, something like that, 13 or 14 maybe. Yeah, I spent a few good years in care, yeah.
What age are you now, Terry, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 31 now.
Right, okay. With the benefit of hindsight and having been through it, and bearing in mind children's services in this area in North East Lincolnshire and in Hull, there's been some really bad reports from Ofsted.
Yeah.
Is there a better way of doing it, having lived through it as an 11-year-old boy?
I personally think, as social workers, I believe maybe, someone similar like myself would be a good role model for a social worker maybe, someone that's experienced it, someone that's lived it can obviously, relate to situations like mine. And I just think really you've got to have been in that situation to know how that child's feeling. And I understand they're qualified and things like that, but I just don't think there's enough educating really in the social sector really. That's my opinion. I just think a lot of them can't relate, and a lot of them don't understand the effect in later life. Like with me really, I've always had mental health really, and I have to live with that obviously every day. And your past does affect your future definitely, but I try and move forward really if I can, think positive and things and all that. But obviously I can't replace my childhood, and no matter what happens, it does leave me angered really, to be honest with you.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
You couldn't do anything about losing your father at the age of 9. Have you talked to your mum about it subsequently? Could anything have been done at the time that it would have made it different for her? Have you had this conversation that would have kept you together?
Yeah, I've spoke to her, definitely about it. And she always says the same as me really, just the support really. All she needed was the support. We had a good family support around us and things like that, but social safety seemed to just come straight involved in things. And before my mum knew what was going on, we was being taken in temporary accommodation, foster placements and things like that. We said temporary. I believe after a year or two, that's long term, isn't it? Really, I just can't understand why, they'd say, oh, well, we'll take him away temporary, and then 2-3 years down the line, I'm still in care, I'm still trying to get home. And I think one social worker said to me too in the end, he said, if you keep doing this, he said, we will put you in a secure unit somewhere where you can't get out, things like that. And it upset me and things, and I just can't understand why they want more support for care leavers really. Even after care, I still feel there isn't enough support really. I think after 21, that's it really. That's it. You left just on your own really, to fend for yourself really. I know a lot of people that's been in care too and that, and even at their ages now, similar to my age and that, you just, you can never move forward. It's hard, because it really is, because like we said earlier, you can't really, forget your childhood, can you really?
No, it shapes your life. Undoubtedly, it shapes your life.
Yeah.
You talked earlier about you feel maybe that in the social services sector there needs to be more people who've experienced it. Have you tried to get into it? Have you applied or?
No, I would definitely. Yeah, if, I would get into something like. Yeah, I'd like. I've offered in the past. I've spoke to other care leavers if we could get some kind of campaign going in Grimsby or something. All come together and. Challenge for better services with social services and things. And I believe, and I'll always stick by my decision, I believe someone who experienced it would be better at a job, doing a job like that, because, when you've lived something, it's the same with anything, isn't it? When if you've lost someone in life or anything, you know what someone's going through, don't you? And I always believe they're the people, that can change someone's life, because I believe, say I was a social worker and, there's a boy that I've been through and things like that, and he needed, the support and all this, I'd understand really, this young lad doesn't need support really, why would we have to take him away from his family, and ain't that going to make it, what he's just experienced, this could make it traumatising for him in his future really. He's never going to forget, us taking him away from his mum. I believe that they don't think of the future for you as a person, or they don't think of the future, of my mum, my mum still, thinks about things and that, and this is what I say, it's alright just taking these children away, but it's the future, isn't it? That's what I've always said, and obviously at 31 now, it's never left me. And